Hello YouTube. How's everybody doing tonight? Probably looking thinking, what the heck's he got going on? Well, we're going to replace the brakes on the front of the bike. Starting to squeal a little bit. Got almost 30,000 miles on them. I ride a little fast and do use my brake, so I'll wear out brake pads. I still downshift, but I do use the brake. That's what it's there for. But I'm gonna make some pig mats just in case, because I don't want to crack the master cylinder open. You know, a lot of people crack the master cylinder open. They'll suck some brake fluid out of it and all that stuff. But as soon as you open that system up, you're putting moisture into it. That .4, it likes moisture. It'll draw it up quick. Then you end up having to flush all your fluids and all that stuff out, which you're supposed to do every 2 years anyway. But that's an expensive service. Even if you do it yourself, it could still be expensive, especially if you screw something up. So we got some pig mats, just in case the seal does bust open while we're pushing the pistons in. I don't think it will. We're going to try it. But what are we putting on? We're going to go with the EBC Organics. And we'll get into that afterwards. Some simple tools you're going to need. 3/8 drive ratchet. 10mm 12-point socket. I'm using a deep well. Just stay away from everything that way. 5mm Allen wrench. Flathead screwdriver. Flashlight, so I can show you guys a couple things. So let's go ahead. We'll open these things up. They are not real thick, but they're thicker than what's on there. Alright, let's get this show on the road. Oh, something else I forgot to tell you guys you're going to need for this install. 5-gallon bucket so you got something to sit on. So, first thing you're going to want to do is pop your cover off. Just take a screwdriver, stick it in there. Pops right off. Now it's going to make a liar out of me. There it goes. Just set that right there. Hopefully you guys can see this. I'll back up a little bit. You got your Allen pin here. Then you've got your keeper pin here. Usually what you want to do is you want to take your keeper pin out first, and then take your Allen bolt pin out. That Allen bolt pin is what holds your brake pads in place. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and take these two 10mm caliper mounting bolts out, so I can get you guys to see that pin and what it's going to take to get that out of there. This don't take real long to do. Dealer charges $115, $125 to do this. I can do it myself. Got paid $60 for the EBCs off Dennis Kirk. I'm sure you probably find them cheaper than that, but like I said, I went with the organics. And part of the reason why I went with the organics, they've got 4 types. They've got organic. Well, they've got more than 4 types, but they've got 4 main types. Organic, semi-metallic, metallic, and centered. Now, your bike will come, at least the Harleys, standard with a semi-metallic, which is kind of a hard pad. And when you're dealing with as small of components as these, and as thin of components as these, you see how thin that is? That one there is pretty wore out. But anyway, as thin as they are, it's easy to heat a rotor up. And you're looking $400 for the rotors. I don't want to pay that, so I went with the organic. Now, semi-metallic, a little bit harder, less brake dust. Organic, softer, a little more brake dust. You get into your metallics, a little bit harder of a pad. Then the semi-metallic, a little bit of brake dust, a little bit of rotor wear. You get into the centered, what they do is the hotter they get, the better they perform. But it'll tell you, and they tell you before you even buy them off the website on Dennis Kirk. That's what I like about them. They will tell you, if your bike does not come with centered brakes, do not put centered brakes on it. Don't do it. But the hotter they get, the better they perform. So, alright. So, you got this little keeper pin right here. All you do is pop it out. So yeah, just pop that right out there. Set it down. Don't lose it. You'll need it. Take a 5mm Allen wrench. Stick it in there. Now, that's why I like using swivel ratchets. You can cheat. Pop that out there. Come on. See how dirty that is? And just take a piece of sandpaper, real lightly, clean that up. I'll show you all that here in a minute. Let's get these pads out of here. Take a flathead screwdriver. Push your pistons in. Just pry on it slowly. Don't take much. Just a little bit. It's going to get your pistons back in. And your pistons, believe it or not, are another thing that can cause moisture getting into your brake system. Because the metal on the pistons can hold moisture as it comes out and applies the brake and retracts back in. So that's the old pads out. We're going to set that right there. Take you over to the box. Compare the old and the new. Here we are, folks. You got the new EBCs. You can tell they're a little bit thicker. Okay. The other thing you want to watch is you buy some of these, you go with a cheaper brand. I'm going with a name brand because it's a name I know and I trust. I've used EBCs on other things before, and but their product is just a great product. They're not sponsoring me or anything. It's just my personal opinion. I like their product. I'll stand behind their product. Good company. They make a really good product. I can't say it enough. But you can kind of see the difference there. my pads are wore out. And I know a lot of dealerships and stuff like that will lie to you and say, hey, you need this, you need that, when you really don't. They told me I was going to need them whenever I had my front tire replaced. I still haven't had my front tire replaced. That's because I'll run them a little thin. I shouldn't, but I do. But I've noticed the last couple of days, brakes making a little bit of noise. So I thought I better get them off of there. But the thing I was telling you all about buying a quality name brand product. Sometimes what you'll have to do if you get into buying the Chinese stuff and the foreign stuff is you'll have to drill these holes out because your pin won't go through. And you'll have to grind these off and make it work. And it's so much easier just to buy the right stuff, fix it right once, be done with it, and not have any worries about it. But that's enough rambling about that. Let's go ahead and we'll get you back over to the bike. We'll get these things on. We'll grab a piece of sandpaper on the way over. We'll scuff that up a little bit. And we'll show you how quick and easy this is. How much money you guys can save. I mean, it literally takes 15 minutes, if that. Put them on both sides. There's nothing to it. It's simple. So, let's get her done. Alright, folks. Got our sandpaper. You can see how dirty that is right there. Just hard grit sandpaper. Nothing fancy. And all we want to do is scuff it. You don't want to grind the metal off of it. You just want to clean the dirt off of it. That's all you want to do. Now, I'll show you all something else. See that little groove right there? That's where your little pin goes. That's your keeper pin to keep it from backing out should it come loose. It just goes over it like that inside there. Just in case you guys didn't get a good view of it there. Hopefully you get a good view of it now. So, that's that. Pop that back off there. One thing I don't like is they don't send you new pins and a new keeper. But this one looks like it's in fairly good shape. I'll probably order new ones next time I change them. Alright, so your brake pads will only go in one way because you got your ear, you got your hole. You got your hole. You got your hole. So, you got your clip there. You got a little spring down in there. They'll push down. You get your brake pad down in there. Check the hole, make sure it's lined up. It is. Take your other pad. Flip it the right way. Don't try to put it in upside down. It'll go right in there. Just like so. Take your pen. Put your pen in. Pen slides right in. Grab your 5mm Allen wrench. Go ahead and tighten that thing down. We're not going to use the ratchet, we don't need to. It don't need to be that tight. I don't know what the torque spec is, but my elbow's pretty calibrated, so I'd say we're pretty close. Alright, now my pistons came back out for some reason. So we're just going to gently make enough space to get it back on the rotor. It should work. Slide it up on there. Get your bolts. Get your holes lined up. You might have to finesse it a little bit. If finessing doesn't work, cuss at it. It'll go. Cussing at it first time doesn't work, cuss at it some more. See, it knew I was going to talk nice to it. Make sure they're stirred by hand. You can use an impact to take them off. And just a little cordless one, be fine. Now I'll go through and just tighten them up. Yep, I don't know what the manual calls for a torque spec, but by God, I'll bet that's close. Alright, everybody. That's how I change the brakes on my bike. 2019 Harley Davidson Road Glide Ultra. It's not hard. Like I said, quit paying your dealer, man. You guys are throwing money away. Yeah, you can do it yourself. It's not hard. It's not rocket science. It's easy. Just have a little bit of patience with it. If you have to, watch a YouTube video over and over and over again. One other little tip. I didn't show you guys doing the left side because it's exactly the same. The only difference is you have your ABS sensor cable running down there, and all it has is a mounting bracket that your caliper bolts go through, and it's got 3 zip ties. You gotta cut them 3 zip ties off, take the bolts out of the caliper. That bracket will come right off there. It's not an issue. Just put it back on, and then when you go to retie your ABS wire, there's marks on your brake line, little yellow marks. That's where you put your zip ties. They make it super easy for you. But I hope you guys like this video. Go ahead and like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think. If you have any questions, hit me up. Email me, roadglideandy19@gmail.com. Any questions y'all got, I'll be more than happy to take the time to answer it out. Or if you have a question, just leave it in the comment section below. But it's also one last thing I want to touch on. It's very, very, very important to have your brake fluids, your clutch fluids, and all that stuff serviced. Over time, what happens is that stuff builds up corrosive materials, and if you leave it go, you can ruin your entire system and end up with a mess on your hands. They say every 2 years to do it. I recommend doing it every 2 years. They say 2-3% on the moisture content. Even if it's 2 years old and your moisture content is not 2-3%, I still say do it because it's got that age factor. And every time, if you take your bike to a dealer and you have it serviced, they pop that cap off that thing, they take their refractometer in there and they check at the moisture content on that thing. They're putting moisture into the system. You just using your brakes daily when you're riding, you're putting moisture into your system. I'll say it when I was putting the brakes on there. The metal from your pistons will draw moisture. It will. It will draw moisture. It's not going to draw a lot, but over a period of time, when you got somebody like me, it puts 24,000 miles on a bike in a year. That's it's a lot of riding, a lot of braking, a lot of moving. It's a good bit of moisture getting back and forth in there. I've already had mine done. Ain't cost me a dime. I know that service is expensive if you pay out of pocket for it, because I don't do all my work myself. Um, I do a good bit of it, but I've got what they call a VIP package, and we'll do a video on that later on. So I won't give everything away on that. But I'm gonna quit rambling, get off of here. Like I said, like, share, comment, subscribe. Y'all have a good one. We'll catch you on the next one.